Hello, hello, hello. It is your girl Rachel Real coming to you with another episode of You Ain't Crazy. You Ain't Crazy is a podcast where I give support and validation to individuals who have found themselves in a narcissistic relationship, guys. That's what I am here to do to raise awareness about this personality disorder. And for those of you who follow me, you know the deal. I come with different topics and expound on them and give support, give my opinion, bring factual information of my own experiences and the experiences of others. I take questions that I find in my email that comes in, whether it's from people on this website called Quora, or maybe it's just something random. But again, it's all about raising awareness so people can have help to understand that they ain't crazy. You are not crazy. I am a relationship coach, pretty much a relationship mediator, helping people to just agree to disagree respectfully or decide on, whether you should stay or should you leave, different things like that. So I'm not a licensed psychiatrist, psychologist, licensed or non-licensed is not what I do. Any of that. Again, I am a survivor, thriver who have I did my work, and I'm here to help you guys do the same. I'm very informal, because to me, that's why I don't get caught up in titles and things like that. To me, it's all about helping you, making sure you get the help that you need, whatever way it comes, as long as you're getting this information. I'm doing my due diligence to make sure I'm bringing it to you along with the other content creators. I'm recording on my podcast as well as YouTube, doing both of them to help the communities on both sides so that people can thrive and make it through. You're not alone and you ain't crazy. So let's get into it now that information is out there. And again, I do these informal videos and podcasts just to raise awareness. So today I want to talk about what's that title? Which supply will the narcissist give the ring to? Which supply? Because to a narc, people are just objects to them. You're just a supply to them. You're just there to feed their ego and their emptiness for the time being. And when they're done with you, they just trash you, discard you like you're trash. That's the personality of a narcissist. So today I want to talk about which supply does a narcissist give the ring to? Which person gets that ring from a person who has a narcissistic personality? Well, look at it this way. What I can tell you, it ain't the lucky one, it's the very unfortunate one. And if you've experienced narcissistic abuse, you and I both know that there's nothing good about being the chosen one dealing with a narcissist. They will, they prey on people who they know will miss the red flags or overlook the red flags, ignore them, because either you're an empath, you're a codependent person like I was or used to be, you actually just very forgiving, understanding, just kind of like letting things slide. Oh, let's pray about it. Things like that. They prey on people like that. So naturally, and then of course, usually you're successful, you're positive, you got it going on, and back again, more than likely, you're a very empathetic person. So they kind of prey on those types of people, and they're the ones where they might find themselves getting a ring, the people who buy into it. And they love bomb you, and the love bombing is working. So they tend to give rings to those types of people, the people who are going to ignore the red flags. And it's not a good thing. So if you're in a situation where you feel like someone else got a ring and you didn't get a ring, or, consider yourself lucky. Consider yourself very fortunate that you're not dealing with all of that stuff that they're going to put on the person who gets it. And I was once that person, and being understanding and caring and empathetic. And it's like the more you did, the harder I prayed. I can change you. We can work this out. Prayer will change it. You're not saying that prayer don't and won't change things, because for sure it will, but people got to want to change. So you can't allow yourself to get caught up, feeling like, okay, you cheated or you lied, you talked about me, you mistreated me, you disrespected me, um, you abused alcohol when you claimed that you weren't. It might be somebody else who's taking drugs. It can be any of those toxic things that they keep doing. And the more they do, the harder you pray and you keep allowing them to do it. So yeah, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the person to get the ring, because a narcissist will do whatever they can do to get you in. So they're going to love bomb you as long as they feel they have to, and as long as you stick around and they feel that they can do something wrong, but then try to fix it up. Oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. Definitely once you may start crying, getting emotional and things like that. And then they want to hug you. And, you're feeling like, oh my gosh, they do care because they hugged me and they listen to me and they care about me. It's all a facade. And if you're a strong person, and I don't want to call a person who finds themselves in a narcissistic relationship, by no means are you weak, because I know I wasn't a weak person. Was I broken? Yeah. Was I just that overly empathetic person to just be so forgiving, like, okay, um, maybe I played a part in this. Oh, when you're pointing at a person, three fingers are pointing back at you. So take accountability, take responsibility. That was me. However, that caused me to overlook what the other person was doing. So I just kept excusing and excusing. And when you're somebody like that, very often a narcissist will stick around you. You're like a magnet. But as soon as you start speaking up for yourself, as soon as you say no more, something's not right with the situation, now they know the mask is slipping. You're starting to figure them out, because guess what? They know what they're doing. They know that it's all a mask. It's just a matter of time. That's why it's all about rush for them. And anybody who accepts the rush, you're the one. You're probably the one who's going to get that ring in 2 months, or in 1 month, or in 2 weeks, or 3 months. They're trying to move in with you after a couple of weeks. You barely know each other. If you allow that, that's the kind of person who's going to get a ring. You know, and was I that person? I surely was. Surely was. I bought into it because I felt like uh I'm not trying to shack up. I don't want to like live in sin and fornicate. I had those beliefs. And because the narcissist was pretty much driving it, like buying the ring, he spared no expense getting the ring. He spared no expense making sure I was good in the beginning. And even though I saw the red flags, all the things he was doing so good, it just pulled the blinders over my eyes that I never even paid attention to his flaws like that. Or even if I kind of was like a little taken back from something he did that I knew was or should have been unacceptable, I ignored it. I was like, okay, we all got to forgive. Everybody makes mistakes. I have flaws, he has flaws. But the difference between he and I was that I literally was trying to be a better person. Literally, if I'm used to being single and now I'm living with somebody, I know that relationships and marriages is a give and take. I know that there's some things where that I might have to bend on, that I should not or shouldn't be selfish about, things like that, not knowing I'm dealing with a person who has a personality disorder and he's acting like he's on the same page. However, he wasn't. And when you don't ignore the red flags, you'll see that. But when they know you're an empath, you're codependent, you're so forgiving, loving, and caring, and you're just going to hold their hand and pray through it, they're going to keep doing it over and over. And it's like the more you allow them to do, the more they keep doing. And that's what I began to see. I'm like, whoa, this is like a black hole. Like the shit just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And after a while, I began to get my power back. I began to get stronger and stronger and stronger, thank God, instead of getting weaker and weaker and weaker. That was the difference with me. And I say to you guys out there, those of you who have that question, like, if a person is a narcissist, how did they propose to another person? How did they get married to the other person and they didn't marry me? The one who they did not marry, consider yourself lucky, very fortunate, because you either didn't fall for it, or you found value in yourself, or if they discarded you, whatever the case may be, consider yourself fortunate. Don't feel bad like you missed out on something, because you didn't. You didn't miss out on anything. Just because the narcissist gave somebody else a ring or even married somebody else, don't feel bad about yourself that it was not you, because that person who they're with is going through pure hell. They don't change. They're not going to be good to one person They were bad towards you and now be good towards somebody else. That's going to be short lived. You better believe that person is going through pure hell. They got the mask, they got the love bombing. No matter how long it takes, sometimes it takes longer than other times for the mask to slip. It just depends on the supply. How long can they continue? How much work do they have to do before that person really see who they are? And for me, oh, he was putting in some work, you know, because again, I would question certain things, but I still was like trying to hold him accountable. And then I could get later on, I began to get the silent treatment. I started seeing certain things were inconsistent. And at first, it just seems kind of, just certain things seem kind of weird, like the punishment never fit the crime. Like you could have a difference of an opinion on something that wasn't even that serious, and he could like excuse me, he could like shut down, not talk, not speak, and I would be like, why are you mad about this small thing? Why are you mad just because I disagreed with you? It doesn't mean I don't like you or love you just because I disagreed. I don't have to agree with everything that you do or everything that you say. Let's talk about it. But for somebody to give you the silent treatment, you don't want to talk now. You might not even want to go somewhere where we have planned to go, all because we had a disagreement that could have been on, we went out and you ordered chicken, and no, I didn't order chicken, I ordered fish. Okay, you ordered fish, no big deal. No, but you said I ordered chicken, you said I did this, and you said I did that. Next thing you know, you don't want to speak, you don't want to go to the fair, and then you stay home and you get drunk. It would be stuff like that after a while, in the beginning I was like, you know what, that's petty, I'm not going to be mad with him about that. And I would break the ice and kind of like force him to get back by just my actions, like we ain't gonna be mad over this. And I would break the ice, and then we're back talking again, and then he would kind of like come back around. That shit was work. Anybody got time to be doing all of that? Every time you turn around, I gotta be the cheerleader to get you back, because narcissist requires constant admiration. They are very needy. So you're gonna spend your life, if you're with them, somebody who really has that personality, got that personality disorder, you better believe you are going to be working overtime to entertain them. You're going to be working overtime to appease them. You're going to be working overtime to make sure they're constantly happy. And you can't control that, because you don't know what made them sad, why are you mad? What happened? It could have been something on TV. It could have been something where they could have thought of anything, whatever's going on in their mind, because they will sabotage a good relationship. They will sabotage a good thing. So instead of them, there were times when I would be like, why don't you want to just be happy? Don't you just want to enjoy this beautiful day? You know, it's just the two of us. Why do we have to be at odds when we don't even have those kind of problems? Not knowing, I'm with a narcissist, so we have major problems. But again, it took a while. It took some years before I really saw it. Every time we broke up, I would be the one to go back and talk, and then he would be all in, yeah, I miss you. Even if there was some tears shed and stuff like that, he was always willing to make the relationship work, because I guess he's like, fool, you back here, I'm getting ready to really lay it on you, because it's spiritual warfare. And then it just got worse. It was always short-lived. Each time it was short-lived. He would act like he was all in, yeah, I'm sorry, even with the tears or whatever. But what I noticed, the respect started to kind of like dissipate. It was like it would get less and less and less, like each time. But I began to get stronger and stronger and more aware, thank God. So the more that mask was starting to slip, I was backing up like, something's not right here. Something's not right. So I began to do research on different personalities. That's how I picked up on this thing, because I'm like, I ain't waiting for nobody to diagnose you, because I done seen you lie to a therapist. I done seen you check out as soon as they agree with something you say. You out. You don't need to hear anything else. You're going to be like, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. Next thing you know, I'm getting gaslit. So yeah, you can be gaslit by a therapist. I don't care if it's a pastor, whomever, counselor, whatever, not to shame them, but whether they know it or not, they can cause more damage. And then if you don't watch it, your behind will be so broken and lose yourself. And I wasn't trying to lose myself. When I noticed that I started coming out of my character, because I had to defend myself, because empath, codependent, path M, any of that, you ain't walking over top of me. That ain't happening. I don't give a damn what's wrong with you. You will not walk over top of me. So I began to do my research, and as understanding as I once was, I'm like, hold up, something's not adding up with this situation. And this man began to check all the boxes. And I had to call a thing a thing. And the more and more I took control over my situation, I took my power back. I began to talk less. You don't go telling a narcissist everything you done found out about them and all that kind of stuff. Don't do that. But back to the topic at hand, where um, what kind of person, which supply will the narcissist choose? An easy supply, an easy target, somebody who's going to take their bullshit, somebody who's, you're just not going to call them out. You're going to be very accepting of them and their flaws, you know, and they'll prey on that. They will be like, oh, okay, and they're going to just really love bomb you. The love bombing is going to go into overdrive. So yeah, that person will get a ring. That person who calls them out, like, no, this is unacceptable, I don't like your behavior. Or even if they propose, that person might be like, okay, this is a little too soon, thank you, but it's a little too much. When you are that kind of person, the narcissist is you're a bad supply. The good supply are the vulnerable ones, the broken ones, the ones who are really codependent, just giving pass after pass after pass, the overly nice ones and stuff like that. And it's not anything wrong with being that way, but let it be towards somebody who deserves it. Let people earn that. When somebody's treating you like shit, it ain't no time to be overly empathetic. It ain't no time to be just overly forgiving. No, you got to call a thing a thing. Nobody deserves for someone else to mistreat them under no circumstances. God didn't make you a doormat. You do not have to stay in a situation where you're being mistreated, period. And don't say you're doing it for the kids, because you're doing a disservice to your children if you are staying in a toxic relationship. You should not be that person. So I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Just wanted to drop by, let y'all know, if you're out there and you're wondering why you didn't get chosen and somebody else did, please don't look at that other person like they are a star and they're the chosen one. Consider yourself fortunate that you were not chosen and you avoided having to deal with that pain that you would have endured had you been the person to get the ring and proposed to and probably eventually married. So there you have it, guys. That's the kind of person a narcissist will choose, people who are easy targets. And yes, I was once an easy target and I had to do my work. I did my work. I figured it out. And that's what you're going to have to do. Figure it out. And if you are that person that they chose, you got to look at yourself, because people only do to you what you allow them to. And when you look at yourself and you become self-aware to say, why am I accepting this? Why do I accept someone to disrespect me? Why do I accept someone to yell at me? Why do I accept someone to just be overly toxic? There's nothing to have a conversation with two adults where you should be able to respectfully have your disagreements. No two people think alike all the time. You may agree on some stuff, but you shouldn't have to walk on eggshells. And you damn sure enough shouldn't be having to change who you are. You got children you have to raise. They don't deserve to wake up to that. Enough of that. Where they got to wake up to two people arguing. They got to go to sleep with two people arguing. They got to live with two people not speaking to each other. And you're supposed to be their parents. Or if you're just somebody's significant other or a partner or somebody like that, and you got children in the home, time out for that. Time out for the toxicity, or you're going to find yourself raising a narcissist, or you're going to find yourself raising an abused child who's going to grow up with their own issues and personality disorders. You got to put your children first, show up for them, and not think about them. Even if you feel like, okay, I'm going to let somebody mistreat me, think about your child. You don't want somebody mistreating them, so you can't show them that that behavior is acceptable. If you are the person who was chosen by a narcissist on either side, male or female, do not accept it. Time out for that. So there you have it, guys. Your girl Rachel Real is out. I hope you found some value in this topic here, that I just discussed. Why the narcissists choose who they choose and not the other supply. there you have it. I'm out. Peace and blessings to you. You got this. Bye. Peace.